Hi, I've had my Profitec Pro 400 now for about 8 months, and I thought I'd like to do a video showing you what I've learned, especially flow control and temperature control, temperature gauge, pressure gauge, how I clean it, all that kind of gear. And I also have a confession to make. I just realized that I've been videoing my indoor movies on f/22, which is terrible. So hopefully this video will look nice and clear for a change. So here's the machine. Probably the biggest thing I've learnt is temperature control. When I bought this, I was hoping from YouTube videos that I could see that it was going to take about 20 minutes to heat up. That was wrong. And the first coffees I made were disappointing because it just wasn't hot enough. Once I eventually got a temperature gauge on here, I could then see what the temperature was, and it really took a good 30 minutes to heat up to a decent temperature. So around 90 degrees takes 30 minutes. If you want to get up to 92 or so, you're probably better off aiming for 40 minutes. So to give it time to do that, what I have now is a Wi-Fi switch, which is called a Sonoff. For those people that don't know, a Wi-Fi switch connects to your home Wi-Fi, and there's an app on your phone. You can use the app to turn it on. So if I'm leaving work and I know it's a half-hour drive home, I can turn it on as I leave work. This will switch on, the green light will come on, the pump might pump. My wife might get a little fright from the noise of the pump, but the machine will be ready to go when I get home. And also with the app, you can schedule it. So you can schedule a normal time to come on and come off every morning, so it's ready to go every morning. So yeah, that's the main aha moment for the machine, was just make sure it's given at least 40 minutes to warm up really thoroughly. And the temperature indicator has confirmed that. The other thing I found is that there's a 3-position switch on here for 3 different temperature settings. The low one is for dark roast, the middle switch is for medium or light roast, and the highest temperature position is really for better steaming, but I found the highest switch is actually giving me the best temperature. This has been on for 40 minutes now, and it says 91.1 degrees Celsius, so I think that's about right to go. The other thing I found is that I don't really do flushes much. If I look at the gauge and it's really way off, I might try flushing it, but depending on how long it's been turned on, sometimes the flush makes it hotter on the gauge, sometimes it's colder. Really, if it looks around 90 to 92 degrees on the gauge, I'm happy just to start, and I can't taste any issues with that, and the temperature does move around a little bit from there. But you know, because this is a heat exchanger machine, the big compromise is temperature, and the big fix is turning it on half an hour before and having a temperature gauge. Now, very shortly after I bought it, I put on this flow control unit. So it's real easy to put on. It cost just over $100, so it was cheap as well. What you do is unscrew this mushroom bolt on the top, and then there's a new one that's got a valve built on the top that you just screw in place. So it's a very easy procedure with a big shifter or wrench, and some fabric over here just to make sure that you don't scratch anything. It's a very easy operation. Also with the flow control kit, they give you a pressure gauge. So the pressure gauge was nice to have just to see how moving the dial affected the pressure at the head. But now I've learnt what I can from that. I don't feel any need to have this pressure gauge anymore. The temperature gauge is far more useful. I have a pressure gauge down here of the pressure at the pump, and I use the dial here to just to adjust the flow rate that I can see coming out of the spouts, and also looking at the temperature gauge, the pressure, the weigh scale. I can read the weight increase there, so that is enough to give me a guide about when to turn this. And turning this is nowhere near as intuitive as using a lever machine like my other coffee machine. It's okay, but you don't get the same level of control or feedback in your hand. So this is a great addition. It definitely helps if, for example, you completely mess up your grind and you're way too fine or too coarse, you can move this around and fix it. And also, what I normally do is start fully open and then progressively just close it during the shot, and really I go pretty much right up to the closed position for the last part of the shot normally. And that's 2 turns of this dial, so it's a little bit of a nuisance to use, but it's good once you get used to it. What else have I found? With cleaning, actually I might just mention this gauge. There was a hex key on the front here, and you can just undo that with a hex bolt, and putting the temperature gauge on, which I bought from coffeesensor.com, or putting on the pressure gauge is a very quick job, very easy. And they give you the tools that you need in the pack for that. So the only special tool you need is a large wrench for putting the top bit on. They also replace springs in here to make it work correctly. The other thing I use is there's an option in the machine to do pre-infusion. So what that really means is it turns the pump on, then it turns the pump off for a moment, and then it turns the pump on again. And that's because the pump slowly ramps up because it's a vibration pump. So by turning it on, off, on, it actually means you start off with lower pressure in the head, and you can also adjust it a little bit more with this dial if you wanted to reduce the amount of pressure that it receives during that pre-infusion time, but I don't normally bother with that. Another thing I found was cleaning. So to clean the head, you would normally replace this with the blind filter, which is actually stored underneath, and you'd put Kefisa in there and push it on. What I found was it was a bit of a nuisance having a whole big portafilter just for cleaning. So instead what I did is buy this little silicone thing, which is designed for a Breville machine, Breville cleaning disc or something like that. And you can just easily pop it in there, and you can put it in there and do a back flush of just water, which is what I do most of the time. Or you can add some Kefisa cleaner in there and do a whole bunch of back flushes with the detergent, which I only actually do probably once every month or so, maybe even less, because it definitely does make this handle sticky. So obviously it cleans away some of the grease on that handle for a while. Eventually it seems to work the grease back into the right position, but yeah, basically try and use water back flush. So I'll just show you how I do that. Put the little disc in, lift it up, and we can see on the pressure gauge the pressure of the pump, and then when it's fully up to pressure, you just push the handle down, water shoots out the valve at the bottom, and it cleans that root out. Yeah. And then you can easily just take this out. So I think that's much more convenient than using this whole big thing. Okay, so let's pull a shot. The other thing I've been trying to learn is how to do both at once. So heat exchanger machines allow you to do the brew, the coffee, at the same time as the milk. But it takes a little bit of practice. So I've ground already into this cup, dosing cup. Give it a good few shakes like Lance Hedrick says we should be doing now. Might try and flatten it a bit. And we level out with the WDT. Not a deep WDT. And tamp, I push my fingers around the side to make it nice and level, and then give it a good push. And I've been using a puck screen, so I think the puck screen helps keep the whole machine clean, and it might help to balance out the water as it hits the top of the puck as well. Lock it in, put the weigh scale on, tear it. We're ready to go. So it's 91.8 at the moment, the temperature. So I concentrate on the milk, the first bit, then I start looking at the coffee and start to wind it back a bit. A bit more. And now we're done at about 35 to 40 grams. I do the milk until I can't hold on any longer, and then another 8 seconds. Clean it, give it a shot. Okay. So milk looks good. And there we have it. And there we have it. So, what do I think? I think this is a great machine. It's very, very well built. It's nice and small, and really, I don't think the average home needs to go the next level of having a dual boiler. The only downfall with heat exchanger machines is temperature, so you just buy yourself a temperature gauge and you fix that problem, or that potential problem. I'm very happy with how it works. I'm very happy with how I control it. The only real downside to using it is that I have to preheat for a long time, like 30 or 40 minutes, and the fix for that is just having a Wi-Fi switch. And apart from that, I think it's a great machine. I've really been enjoying it. There's a water reservoir at the back here that seems to last me, 3 or 4 days pretty easily. So that's it. Tell me what you think. If you've got one of these machines or you're thinking of buying it, tell me what are the things that make you wonder whether this is the right machine or the wrong machine. I think it's great and it looks good. Also, I was worried about the size of this little drip tray, but it's fine, perfectly fine. Okay,